My next guest is Jay Varney. He's running for sheriff in Madera County. Huge field, six candidates in the primary, and there's just no way we could cover everybody. So you're in the top two now in the runoff.
Yes, sir.
And so anyway, Jay, tell us a little bit about yourself and your vast experience, and then we're going to be talking about things specific to Madera County.
All right. Well, Tim, this is my 31st year of law enforcement. I started my career in Dallas, Texas. I worked down there for 10 years. I couldn't convince the parents or the in-laws to make the trip south, so we went back up to Michigan. I worked there for almost 11 years, and I've been the chief of police in the city of Chowchilla since 2004.
Okay.
I spent 2 of those years as the acting city administrator, and as far as education, I just got my master's degree. That's poor English, I guess. Received my master's degree in criminology from Fresno State about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, okay. So what did you find Chowchilla, or did they find you?
Well, it's kind of both. In 2004, they were doing a national search. I knew the gentleman that was doing the search. At that time, I'd been involved for about 5 years with a group that was then called Point Man Leadership Institute. It's now called PLI Global, and they are based out of Hume Lake Christian Camp.
Okay.
So I thought, wow, that's a pretty close job to where Hume is. So
Right.
I asked if they would consider someone from so far away, and they said, put your name in, and I guess we'll say the rest is history.
Wow. Okay. That yeah, and you've had extensive training. You've been involved with the FBI and
I attended the
also-
FBI National Academy last year at this very
Okay.
time.
Okay. So all facets and all phases of law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The race that we're in now, and now it's down to you and your opponent, Mr. Salvador. So just let's go into what you think as far as the sheriff's office. It's an open seat.
Yes.
Sheriff Anderson is retiring or going on to other things. So where do you think your pressure points are really going to be as far
Sure.
as leadership in the sheriff's office?
Well, John's retiring after a 4-term sheriff's candidacy, and prior to that worked for CHP. I kind of look at the sheriff's office as a good NFL football team that has almost all of the parts it needs, but maybe needs some strong leadership going into this transitional period. There's some excellent folks that work there. In terms of what I would like to do, there are some changes that I would like to make in terms of technology, and also we need to get back after the open deputy positions that have been kind of lingering out there now for 5 or 6 years.
Okay. Bring me up to speed. Madera County is our neighbor, and politically, the couple of groups I'm involved in are just really starting to take a position in Madera and Merced County
Sure.
also that join us. So Madera County has gone, well, like most counties have gone through some really stressful financial things.
Exactly.
So was there reductions in the department?
Yes. At the beginning of this fiscal year, they were down 12 to 13 deputy positions, authorized but not filled. Now I believe they're still down in the 8 to 9 range.
Okay.
Part of that is the candidate pool isn't what it was 10 to 15 years ago.
Okay.
So to make sure that you hire folks that are qualified and want to work in what's substantially a rural environment, you need to go through a number of applicants before you get someone inside the house that makes it through the program. However, I think the main concerns of constituents outside of their Second Amendment rights and concerns about issuance of CCW permits has been response times. And if we're going to get those response times down, we're going to need a better staffing plan in order to take the service to the citizens that they want.
Yeah, and in a timely manner.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, geographically, Madera County is spread out,
Yeah, it's 2,100 square miles.
and you have 2 population centers, basically, right? City of Madera and Chowchilla, where you're at.
Well, I would also put Oakhurst in there
And
because
Oakhurst,
Oakhurst
okay.
is up to about 14,000 folks now.
Okay, and then that your county, so everybody gets a sense of it, goes clear up to Yosemite National Park, or is part of Yosemite in you also?
Yes, very close. And to
Okay.
the east, it goes up as far as Mammoth Pool, as
Okay.
far as places you can access. And then to the west, it goes all the way to the Fresno River on the east side of Firebaugh. So you've got quite a spread out populace.
Okay. Now, the way you're structured right now for your staffing, do you have substations besides the main office in
Right now, at the
Madera?
sheriff's office, there's the main office in Madera, and there's a large substation in the Oakhurst area. There are no
Okay.
other substations right now.
So all the service to the west then comes out of Madera?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Currently, how many deputies do they have on?
Well, I believe there's approximately 76 sworn employees of the
Okay.
sheriff's office, but on any given day, you have staffing that comes out of the Valley office in Madera and staffing that comes out of the Mountain office in Oakhurst, and that varies. And sometimes there's only 2 folks covering the whole valley. Sometimes there's 3 to 5 folks. Obviously, 3 to 5 gets you much better service than 2.
Right, absolutely. And then naturally too, you're going to be sensitive to areas that require your calls to service. So,
Right.
Because now Oakhurst is not incorporated, right?
No, sir, it's
So
not.
you
we
cover the-
provide all the service there
Okay.
outside of traffic, and
and
then
then you-
CHP does the traffic up
Right,
there.
they do the traffic, and then Chowchilla is incorporated.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's what you're currently doing there, and Madera is
Yeah.
incorporated. So
Those are the only 2 incorporated cities in Madera County.
okay, so where are your calls of service? More in the mountains, or is it just kind of pretty well?
Well, I haven't done a total review of all the reporting areas. I believe that you've got the majority of your calls are in your 2 areas where you have your 2 service stations, Madera and then the Oakhurst substation. But you've got numerous other population areas that can fire up. If a call goes out in Fireball and that beat's not manned, you have to call the Fireball Police Department to do mutual aid, come across the river, help sort it out while we send a deputy from farther to the east out to
Right.
help out. You've also got Coarsegold, Yosemite Lakes Park, North Fork, Raymond, all areas that on any given day can have something fire up. And if you don't have a deputy in that area, you're going to have to go with the mutual aid from CHP on that.
So, anyway, now but I learned something from somebody that now the Madera sheriff is not in charge of the jail.
That's
though.
right.
That
There's
is
only
a
2
separate-
counties in California that is separated, Napa and Madera.
Well, okay. Is it better in that structure, or is it better off to have the sheriff run the jail, which requires once again more staff?
Well, it depends on how much money you have to make that transition. Right
Okay.
now, in this budget, I believe that it's better to have them separated.
Okay.
But if we could show that it would do a better job at grooming leadership to combine them and also cut down the cost for service to combine them, I would be fine with combining those 2 entities back together. You've got Manuel Perez as the chief of the Madera Department of Corrections. They've been very good at getting state money to, I'll say, prolong their ability to house as many people as they could under public safety realignment. They should be very proud of what they accomplished. But now they're in the same boat as everyone else. The jail is overflowing.
Right. Now, because they still are a county entity.
Yes,
They're
sir.
just separate from the sheriff's office.
Absolutely.
I tripped across that in a previous show, and I'm going, really, I never knew that happened.
I believe that happened back in the 70s when there was a dispute between the sheriff and the Board of Supervisors, and I believe the sheriff literally had his people leave the jail one evening, and the next day it had to be run by other folks.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about you're currently the police chief in Chowchilla.
Yes, sir.
Little overview about, what's going on with your department there and all that, and how that experience is going to be able to transfer if you're successful in
Sure.
this race.
So, as you mentioned earlier, we've all gone through kind of a rough economic period starting at about 2007 through about 2011. During that time, I was acting city administrator from 2009 to 2011. So we got some significant experience working directly for the electeds. The policy decisions had to be made by the electeds, and I had to implement them. So we went from about 75 city employees down to about 49 through layoffs and attrition in a very short period of time because we were very close to the verge of bankruptcy. So as a part of that, I'm probably the only candidate, maybe statewide, who had to be in a position previously to entertain a proposal from another agency to take over what their true job was. So in 2010-11, in that budget year, we had to entertain a proposal from the sheriff's office to take over law enforcement services for the city of Chowchilla. And of course, I couldn't participate because that's a conflict of interest. But due to the service we were providing the citizens at that time, the council voted 5-0 to keep us. I was very proud of that. We generally have a number of officers who are involved in community activities outside of the police department, like Little League and other activities
Sure.
like that. And I think that the citizens in a small town really appreciate that.
Right, okay. All right, so the move was on then to actually dispense with the Chowchilla Police Department.
We had to propose anything and everything that could possibly save money, and it turned out that one would not at that time.
Right. It's some of the smaller towns here in Fresno County have gone to that. Now they've changed back because it's just you've got to, if you're incorporated, you need to have a police presence there. What is, by the way, I go through there all the time. What is the population of Chowchilla?
Well, the population
tells you I don't look at the population sign driving.
Well, and don't waste your time, because that includes the folks that are in Valley State Prison and the ladies that are in Central California Women's Facility.
You're kidding me?
No, sir.
They're counted in the census?
Yeah, they're counted in that, and I think
Holy cow, really?
from a government standpoint, that's the one benefit, or one of the benefits of having a prison local is for some of your state funding, your prison population is included in the funds that you receive. So there's probably about 11,000 to 11,500 folks that live in Chowchilla right now.
Okay. Actually live there.
Actually, in the city limits. We have a lot of people.
In some degree of freedom.
Right, and we have a lot of people that live around us in our zip code who, if you ask them, they live in Chowchilla, and we appreciate that.
Well, yeah, well, that's awesome. I never even thought about that they were counting inmates in prisons as citizens.
Yeah, and the number on the sign's low anyways. I think with the inmates, we're probably up around 19,000 folks.
Okay. Well, which good, that gets you more representation. If you're, at the state and assembly level, okay, because the higher your population, it condenses you down.
Well, and having two facilities in Madera County provides a lot of jobs that are well-paying, that are kind of across the spectrum, because they provide all sorts of programs for the inmates to try to get them in a position to come back to, I'll call it the useful lane of society when they come out of the facility.
Oh, absolutely. It's there's a lot of good jobs. I have some clients that work in various state prisons and what have you, and in a whole variety of capacities where they're not COs or doing any of that stuff. And so anyway, okay, Mr. Varney, thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Good luck. We'll be talking to you soon on some other matters related to the election, and good luck.
Great.
In
Thank
November.
You.